What's up, friends? Welcome to Web3 Academy, a place for entrepreneurs, creators, and marketers to explore and learn how to use Web3 to transform business models and create thriving communities. Enjoy this next episode.
GM. Welcome to Web3 Academy. It is the weekly roll-up. I'm Jay Hamilton, your co-host, hitting you up from Whistler, Canada. We got Kyle Reedhead. What's up, Kai?
What's up, guys? I'm here in Mexico City, loving life here.
Jam-packed episode today. Wow. We're going to talk about wallets. There is so much to talk about wallets. We're going to dive into a bunch of news, new wallets coming out. So much news to dive into there. We're going to talk about just a lot of announcements today. Some big funding starting, lots of money flowing into Web3. I mean, we're already seeing tons of money, but one of the biggest funds ever in Web3, I think, was announced this past week. We're going to talk about the decentralized social layer of Web3 that is coming and building very quickly right now. Kyle's pointing to his Lens protocol hat. if you're listening,
I feel like the biggest nerd in the world wearing this hat, but I love it.
You look like you belong on the golf course right now, but you belong at like the Lynx Dow golf course. That's the golf course you belong at. We're going to talk about music, NFTs, lots happening there. We're going to talk about sports, NFTs, lots happening there. Music and sports are two huge industries that are ripe for disruption in Web3. And then we're going to wrap up with the NFT of the month. Did I miss anything, Kai? What else are we talking about today?
Oh, I don't know. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but that's a good little summary. We'll see where else this goes.
But as always, we're going to start with gratitude because practicing gratitude is so important. Always important. Kai, what are you grateful for?
I am grateful for the Web3 community. I met a bunch of them for the first time at the Permissionless conference last week. And it was pretty incredible. I'm super bullish on the people of Web3 and crypto. And it was super cool to meet so many faces, so many people that I've met and talked to on Twitter. And now to put a face to it was really cool.
Nice. I love it. If you haven't listened to Kyle's podcast from Monday, which is a recap of the Permissionless conference, or more actually a recap of what were his 5 takeaways from the conference, 5 things that you should know about that the smartest people in Web3 are talking about. Give that a listen, or there's also an article, give that a read. That was very well done, Kai. I really liked that.
Sure.
I am grateful for my new electric sander that I purchased and used. I've been using it every day since I purchased it this past weekend. I am sanding my deck. I bought a 40-year-old house about a year ago, and the deck is 40 years old, and the paint is all peeling off, and we are reviving it and bringing it back to life and saving it from mold and rot. I can barely feel my arms today because I was sanding until 8 p.m. last night after work. Nice. My shoulders are very sore, but man, buy the right tool. This is actually a great lesson in any, not just renovations, anything in life. We're going to talk about wallets. Wallets are a key tool for Web3. Using the right tool makes all the difference in your life. So invest in the right tools. And that's what we're here for at Web3 Academy, is to teach you about which are the right tools in Web3.
I can't believe you just turned buying a sander into a beautiful transition into Web3. That was incredible.
I've been working a lot on my transition. So on that note, first up, we want to talk about wallets. Before I jump into talking about, I got Coinbase made a big announcement. Before I jump into that, Kyle, why do we want to talk about wallets? Why are wallets so important in Web3?
Wallets are the personal dashboard for the Web3 internet. Like it is the thing that everyone's going to first use and log into before they go to do whatever they're going to do on their computer or their phone. It's kind of like the first page of the internet right now, at least for me, is Google, right? When you open up a browser, it's like you see Google. It's now going to be the wallet, because that's your entry point into connecting into all of the applications and everything else that you use. It's also like, if you have any of these wallets currently, like it's also a browser. It is your browser inside of there, or it's a browser extension. But all the mobile wallets, they have browsers right in it. So it's going to be sort of your entry point into the Web3 world, into the metaverse, I guess is what you can call it. And so this is where every user is going to have a wallet, right? Every single person that uses the internet is going to have a wallet. So, I don't know how many users there are on the internet, but that is a massive, massive, massive amount of people. And so, of course, this is an important tool, because the better that wallets function, the better their UX, well, the easier Web3 is for everyone else, which then benefits all of the apps and everything else we're doing. So it's the most important technology, I believe, for Web3.
Yeah, I see it as, I liken it to how Facebook and Google and Apple really won the war of owning login in Web2, right? You guys might remember, there was this big race way back when it was like, who's going to own login in Web3, in Web2? Because if you own login, then you own that first step that everybody's taking in accessing content online. And the wallet is the Web3 version of that. Just forgot, Kyle, I forgot to ask you the Web3 word of the week. Maybe we just said it 8 million times, or maybe you want to pick a different word. Kai, what's the Web3 word of the week?
Quick stop here. Okay, yeah, I got a word. The word is permissionless. And there's two reasons why. One, the conference I went to last week was called Permissionless. Two, I think permissionless is one of the most important, like, foundational properties of Web3. Permissionless just basically means like, you don't need to ask for permission to interact or to do something. And in Web2, everything is permissioned. If you want to tweet, if you want to post on Instagram, if you want to send money, you always need permission from the bank, from the big tech. And Web3 is about permissionless, where you no longer need any permission from anyone to do any of the things on the internet. Just like in the real world, I don't need permission to go and talk to someone, or to give someone cash, or to hold up a sign, or whatever I'm going to do. I don't know. And so the internet is becoming permissionless, and that excites me.
Okay, awesome.
Back to wallets.
I thought you were going to pick the word wallet. So that's, you kept everyone on their toes there. It was a great surprise. Thanks for that, Kai. Okay. First up on wallets, let's talk about Coinbase. And we're going to talk about Coinbase Coinbase has Coinbase Wallet, which is a self-custody wallet, which has been around for, I'm not sure how long, but it's a wallet that many people are using already. And then recently they made an announcement of a new type of wallet using MPC tech, which, quite frankly, I don't even know what MPC tech means. So I'm going to refer to you, Kai, on what is the difference between, first, let me just explain actually. So the Coinbase wallet that they already have is a self-custody wallet that basically is for those of us that are tech savvy, right? So we know how to back up our own key. We're comfortable managing our recovery phrase. Then a self-custody wallet is great. And you can connect that self-custody wallet to a ledger or a hardware wallet for cold storage as well, which allows you to have control of your own keys and control of your own assets and properties. But I think for a lot of the world, that is not what they want. That's a bit too techy. They don't want talk about managing your own seed phrase. Like, I don't even know what to do with my seed phrases. Kyle and I have this conversation all the time. We won't have this conversation online, but like, where do you put them, right? Like, who do you give them to? Like, where do you, these pieces of paper that have 12 words on them or 24 words that are just like sitting somewhere and and if you find that, you own our assets. Like, managing keys is definitely not something the whole world will want to do. So there's a lot of innovation coming out in terms of, okay, what's an easier way to give users Web3 wallets without all of these steps that are sort of scary for a lot of people?
Yeah, and I mean, so the non-custodial wallets are great, and you need that to go and interact with Web3, right? The
Mhm.
alternative to this is just Coinbase, the exchange, right? Which you have an account, a Web2 version, and you can't interact with Uniswap and OpenSea and all this stuff with Coinbase. You need this Coinbase wallet. So the barrier to entry here is that there's so many people who have no friggin' idea what to do with these seed phrases and don't really want to deal with these like with the risk of that. And that's completely understandable. And this is why I think there's like 300 million or something people that have owned crypto, but like less than 30 million that actually hold it non-custodial, right? There's
Mhm.
a huge barrier there, or gap there, I mean. And so Coinbase is trying to kind of fill in that gap. And the way they're doing it is with this MPC wallet, which stands for, I think it's multi-party something. What is it? Multi-party computation. Doesn't really matter, to be honest.
Mhm.
Basically what this is, so they actually announced this at the permissionless conference. And essentially what's happening is they get a lot of people that lose their seed phrases and they come to Coinbase support and say, hey, I lost my seed phrase. Can you please give it to me? And they're
Mhm.
like, yeah, we can't do that. And people are like, what? Like they're kind of mind blown. They've lost their money. So obviously a
Right.
very big problem in this industry. And so basically what Coinbase has done is they're trying to fix this and give the sort of like in between technology that these people need. So it's non-custodial and you can, interact with Web3 with this MPC wallet. But what happens is basically your seed phrase is like cut in half and Coinbase owns half of it and you own half of it. And
Mhm.
so if you lose your seed phrase, you can go to Coinbase support and they can get it back for you. Um, but they can't see it. It's encrypted on their end, so they can't see it unless certain things happen. I don't know all the details yet of like
Mhm.
what you need to do, but basically what it is there's kind of a fail safe here where by Coinbase can help you recover your seed phrase if you ever lost it. And so,
Mhm.
is it fully non-custodial and all the things we want? No, but it's like it's pretty close, and I think it's a great
Mhm.
onboarding tool to like get people used to it and understanding. And then once they're ready to go full on, they can, get their own non-custodial wallet or their hardware wallet, like you said, Jay. But the key thing is they can interact with Web3, with Web3 apps. So they can enter the world, but still have the sort of like support and safeguard of Coinbase. So that
Mhm.
is a good entry point, something where like my parents, for example, might be able to use that and could actually now use I don't know what they would ever do in Web3, but if they, if they ever did, this would
Buy
probably be the route that they would.
Bitcoins.
Yeah. My dad calls it Bitcoin.
Uh, we should have a section on what boomers call Bitcoin. That should
Yeah,
be a
yeah.
weekly section. Yeah, the lost wallet thing is such a real struggle of Web3, right? And I saw yesterday a tweet. Somebody found a wallet that bought a Bored Ape like early on. And no, actually, sorry, bought 27
Yeah,
Bored
I
Apes.
saw
That's what it
this.
was. Do you see this?
Yeah.
27 Bored Apes. And so this wallet has 27 Bored Apes, which led to 27 Mutant Apes, which then got airdropped 27 Bored Ape Kennel Club, which then got the other side landed. Now, at some point, this wallet stopped receiving these airdrops and claiming them. So it's presumed that this person either lost their seed phrase or they're dead because they're not
Right.
using this wallet anymore. But this wallet would have a value of about $10 million
Oh my
if somebody
God.
could access it again. It's crazy.
Insane.
It's
We
insane.
need to fix this. We need to fix
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Which is why we're talking so much about this. And I think that
Right.
like the thing that the listeners should understand is you need to participate and play to learn this stuff. So get in, get some wallets, but don't feel like you need to make massive transactions, right? Like just
Right.
get in and start playing and start using wallets, buying NFTs, moving money around, moving coins around, and just see, but you don't necessarily have to put all your life savings into it yet.
Right. And actually don't do that, please.
Exactly.
But anyway, we're about to talk about MetaMask. And before we do, I just want to say I downloaded the Coinbase wallet yesterday. I mean, I use MetaMask.
Mhm.
I've used MetaMask for a long time, mainly because that's just the thing that's been around for so long. So I've just have had it for a long time. And I downloaded Coinbase Wallet, and oh my God, the experience is so much better. The UX is insane compared to Meta. I don't even know how MetaMask is still the largest wallet. Actually, Coinbase announced at Permissionless that they are the highest downloaded wallet in Web3 in the last year. So they are quickly climbing and probably, I would assume, are going to beat MetaMask. It's just, I don't know how they won't. MetaMask's UX in their wallet is just not good at all, to be honest.
No.
Coinbase it's beautiful. You can go in, you can interact with like apps right in there. So instead of like with MetaMask, I got to go find the link, make sure it's the right link. They're like to like Uniswap or whatever. It's already built into the app of Coinbase. You just click right in. There's like a browser in there that is just a much better and faster experience than what MetaMask browser is. You can stake your tokens inside the Coinbase wallet. And again, it just takes you right into the app. So you don't have to like leave the wallet. And this is all in the mobile experience. Yeah, really, really well done. So Coinbase wallet, and I talk about Coinbase all the time. I'm super bullish on Coinbase. I would bet their stock is smashed even more because prices just only go down right now. But I'm super bullish.
Their stock is definitely not doing well right now, but nobody's is. So,
but man, Coinbase they are building the UX for this space, and I think everyone needs to wrap their head around that. And here, look at this. So MetaMask, their biggest competitor. What is the MetaMask big announcement today? We're integrating Coinbase Pay into MetaMask as a method of transferring and purchasing crypto. Coinbase is launching this integration with MetaMask first as they roll out to the Web3 ecosystem. So you can think of this like Apple Pay, right? Where you connect your credit card into your phone on Apple and you can pay for things or do whatever. So this is Coinbase Pay, where you can do the same thing. You can connect and you can immediately just buy crypto from your credit card using Coinbase Pay. And so you can almost think of it like a tool or a widget that will just get plugged into probably every wallet, right? Like, why would wallets not use this? And some wallets already do this with Apple Pay, to be honest. So Coinbase is sort of competing on that level. But I mean, Coinbase Wallet is MetaMask's biggest competitor, and MetaMask is basically forced to use this product of Coinbase. So yeah, Coinbase is they're creating the UX of Web3. Super bullish.
Just on every level. Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, let's talk more about wallets. Another big issue within wallets is obviously new users coming into the space. And what we're seeing right now is a ton of new users want to buy NFTs. There's so much attention around NFTs. There's a lot of excitement around it. I think everyday people are more excited about an NFT than they are about buying tokens and buying coins, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Although definitely one issue within the NFT space is there's real polarizing viewpoints on NFTs. I find in the mass media right now, a lot of people hate on NFTs, like absolutely hate them, which I don't understand at all. But anyways, let's not side conversation. So what happened here was a wallet company called Paper got a big investment from Polygon and some others of $10 million to build basically a way to onboard people who do not have wallets onto Web3, specifically focused on purchasing NFTs though, right? So one problem that a lot of NFT producers have right now, NFT creators, is, and I've spoken to many NFT creators of, if you don't have big marketing budget or a big following, then you have a big challenge of selling out your NFT, right? How do I get more eyeballs on my NFT and sell it out? And one of the reasons why that's such a challenge is because such a small percentage of people actually have a wallet and can buy your NFT. So what Paper is doing, which I love this, is they're basically making an experience where it's very easy for you to sell your NFT to somebody who doesn't have a wallet. So what somebody can do is you can use Paper, an NFT creator could use Paper, you set up a checkout process using Paper, and then I can come in, I don't have a wallet, I'm your aunt, and I don't have a wallet, but I want to support my niece in her NFT collection. Well, I can go to using this paper checkout, I can go to the checkout page and I don't need to connect my wallet. I can use my email, and using my email and then paying with a credit card, I can purchase the NFT. And then basically the NFT is held in a non-custodial.
It creates a wallet for them, essentially.
It creates a wallet for them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Someone else was doing this. I forget who or what it was, but yeah, it just kind of creates it underlying for them. I think it was Unlock Protocol does this, where you can like buy an NFT and then like you don't even really realize, but it creates a wallet for you. Don't even know it though.
Yeah.
So probably again, a cool onboarding tool. Is it perfect? Probably not, but it's kind of like with this MPC wallet. It's not perfect, but it helps onboard people, right? It gets people into the system. And that's the most important thing. We need people coming into the Web3 ecosystem.
Exactly. What I find most interesting about this one is they're not necessarily promoting themselves as a wallet. They are promoting themselves as end-to-end commerce for NFTs, right? So it's like, hey, we manage the checkout of purchasing your NFT, but really what they're doing is they're enabling somebody to buy your NFT without a wallet. And then, like you said, create a wallet under the hood. So interesting just to see how different people are approaching the UX and creation of products here.
Yeah. I got to go back to this whole people complaining about NFTs. I don't understand how someone can hate an NFT. I do understand. It's just, they don't know what it is. All an NFT is just digital ownership. It is literally just the ability to own something. And why the hell would anyone be pissed at owning something? It's all it is.
But I heard a good argument the other day for why people are hating on NFTs. So here's the argument. When you don't understand something and everyone else is talking about it, you feel dumb, right? And people don't like feeling dumb, right? Yeah. So it's easier to then hate on something. Like think about, especially
when you're money's involved, right?
Exactly. And then you add money, and so you don't understand it, so you don't want to feel dumb. So you'd rather just talk it down, right? And hate on it. But then also there's money involved. So many people are making money, which leads you to be jealous, right?
Right.
And you see all these people making money, so you're jealous. So it leads you even more to talk it down because you're not involved. You're not in it's like, being on the outside of a club or being on the outside of a party. You're like, oh, fuck that party. That party sucks, right?
Right. It's a good point.
So I think
people hated the internet. There was like a lot of fuss in the internet in the 90s. So, and like, why would you hate the internet? This is weird. Well, same thing with NFTs.
And as we know, everybody's going to love NFTs long term.
Of course.
Everybody's going to own NFTs.
Well, here's the thing. No one's going to even know what an NFT is because we won't use the word NFT, right? Exactly. Like, it's like hating HTTP and SMTP or whatever, like ICP, whatever the hell the internet's built on. It's like, imagine hating that protocol.
Well, here's a good thing. We should do this. We should survey our audience. When you think the word NFT, what do you think? What does that word mean to you? And I'll bet you most people think JPEG.
Right, for sure.
Right,
profile picture or something. Right.
They think profile picture. They think JPEG. So no wonder people are hating on it. They're like, why is everyone buying profile pictures in JPEGs? Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, but it's so much more than that.
Okay, back to wallets. Believe it or not, there's more freaking wallets. So this is so there's actually a couple big launches here for wallets, which is kind of cool. GameStop. We've heard a lot about GameStop building this NFT marketplace. They're doing a ton of stuff in the gaming world on top of Immutable X and Loop Ring, which are 2 layer 2s. And they have just launched out of the blue a wallet. And so basically they allow you to hold ETH, ERC20s and NFTs in a wallet, which is built on top of Loop Ring, which again is a layer 2 on Ethereum. So yeah, that's really cool, I guess. I mean, I think the one thing that's big about this is what GameStop is doing is actually really big. They're onboarding the gamers into Web3. So they're creating GameStop and Immutable are basically, and we're going to talk about Immutable in a second as well later on. But they are building the underlying infrastructure for big time games to come in and seamlessly and easily integrate Web3 into their games using NFTs, tokens, etc. And so that infrastructure is brand new because it's all done on Immutable, which is is gasless. There is no gas. And so the idea is they want to onboard developers into the easiest, cheapest, and most secure ecosystem. And so like all of the biggest gaming companies are currently building in this space, one with GameStop and Unimmutable. It's going to be a massive onboarding for Web3, but it's a very weird ecosystem right now because there's not much on there. And so like GameStop has built, I think, a marketplace. They've built an onboarding grants program to bring in all these developers. There's hundreds of them. And now they've built a wallet that hopefully I haven't used it yet, but it looks pretty cool. I went on the site. So hopefully it's at the level of, I don't know, Coinbase's wallet UX wise. We'll see.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. The adoption of gamers and onboarding into Web3 is just so huge, and GameStop is going after that, which makes a ton of sense.
Another big time name.
Both of us want to jump on this one. Go ahead.
Yeah, is Robinhood. So Robinhood plans Web3 crypto wallet for DeFi traders, NFT buyers, etc. Basically, they're launching a non-custodial wallet. They announced this one at Permissionless as well. The founder was there. It was a weird presentation, to be honest. He played this really weird video of, I don't even know what was going on, like sci-fi stuff. And he's very cryptic. He's not saying much. So I get the feeling that they're not that far along. Because Bankless also interviewed them at Permissionless, and he had not much to say. Now, what they're doing is awesome, but he had to keep most of it hidden for now. But basically, Robinhood is disrupting their own business, right? This is super cool because Robinhood is a custodial exchange essentially for stocks, right? And actually for crypto as well. And so last year they enabled the ability to withdraw your crypto from Robinhood and actually move it to like a Web3 wallet or to other exchanges. So that was kind of cool and sort of disrupting their own model there. You'd think you want to keep it in-house as a centralized organization. And now they're creating the ability for users to just completely not use Robinhood at all, but use the Robinhood wallet and custody their own assets. And then interact with Web3. And so Robinhood gets it. They see where the future is. They see that centralized custodial products are not going to make it, and GMI. And it's all about self-custody. And so they're going to build a UX for that and compete with Coinbase and GameStop and MetaMask and all this. And what's great is they have, I think it was I said it in Monday's podcast, but 20 something million users at least. And so it'll just be super easy to onboard those people right into this Web3 wallet. And they're doing it in such a way, and he didn't explain how, but where there will never be fees. So basically they will, I don't know if they cover it, or probably they'll be on a layer 2 of some sort / other cheaper blockchains maybe, and then they'll maybe cover the cost. I don't know what they're going to do. But that's what Robinhood is all about, is like super easy UX with no fees. They hate fees. And so Robinhood, you can buy and sell stocks without fees. They're going to do the same thing here with crypto. So I don't know how they'll do it, but we'll find out.
And this came off the backs of the announcement that Sam Bankman-Fried bought 7.6% of Robinhood. So, I think a few themes here. Sam Bankman-Fried, arguably one of the biggest players in Web3, creator of FTX, one of the youngest billionaire in the world now, top 30 on the most wealthiest people in the world list, I think, very, very high. It's crazy. But he purchased a stake in Robinhood. 1 week later, Robinhood announces that they're going to launch a wallet. And I think you nailed it, Kai. Robinhood's been having a tough time. They've been struggling. And so what do? You got to adjust with the times, and you got to find new opportunities, and you got to innovate your product. And shout out to them. Kudos to them. I think it would be very easy for them to dig in their feet, as a lot of companies will, and push back against Web3. But they're rolling with it, and they're creating this new wallet and doing things to continue to grow.
This is also SBF buying the dip, because Robinhood is down 80% or something like that. And so SBF is I'll come in and buy some of this. Sweet. And it's he's buying the future of Web3 is really what I think his play here.
Yes.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, completely. And then FTX announced that they are creating FTX stocks, which is now launched in private beta. This was a bit surprising to me, to see FTX say that they want to get into the capital markets and allow you to purchase stocks on FTX. It's only going to be available to residents in the US, and it's only in private beta right now. So it's still early, but very interesting to see. It's like SBF is controlling everything and coming at it from every side.
Yeah, there's some. I was at an event after Permissionless and talking to some. I can't say any of the names, but they were like, they're people that a lot of people would know, and they're big as like economists and analysts in the space. And they had actually a lot of negative things to say about SBF, in the sense of that he really controls the markets and can control a lot of what's happening. And I guess he's like doing a lot of, I don't know, and this could all be complete rumors, but basically what they were saying is like, he's basically kind of deciding on where things go all throughout the ecosystem. And the idea is that it brings it all back to him so that he continues to get the revenue and FTX continues to grow from it. And I don't know. I always thought SBF was a good guy. I don't know him, so I have no freaking idea, but it was interesting to hear this side of the story from some people who are like pretty well known and big in the space. So it was interesting. We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Well, from wallets, let's we got some announcements.
Are we leaving wallets now? Finally,
we're leaving wallets. I know it was a lot to talk about wallets.
Think we can go another like a month without talking about wallets?
I mean, as long as we talk about it in the Discord, because I don't want to stop talking about it.
Okay. All right. A16Z, Chris Dixon, Andreessen Horowitz launched the largest crypto fund ever, 4.5 billion. We're in a bear market, 4.5 billion with a B. That is insane. I can't remember what the biggest was before that. I think it was 2 billion, maybe not even that. But anyway,
I think it was 1.5 billion, wasn't it? Katie Hahn's
right, maybe
fund
was
one. We talked about it like a month ago or 2 months ago.
I really wish that they would just put all this money into the actual market, like buy tokens with it, so we could see some prices go up. But they're going to buy It's obviously for crypto startups and venture. And hey, look, it's great for the space. I actually talked about this on Monday. Is like, look, this bear market's a bit different than all the other bear markets because we actually have funding. Right. This is the first time where in a bear market, all the companies are not just imploding because their treasuries went to zero. People actually have real money, and like, it's not stopping. It's going to just keep pouring in 4.5 billion. Like, holy shit.
And I think, as we all know, bear markets are when you build. And if we look back at the bear market of the internet era, when we were first building the internet, Web 2, really when we first built Web 2. So we had a bear market. I can't remember the exact dates, but I feel like it was like, wasn't it like 99 to like 2005, something like that? There was like a 6-year.
The dot-com bust, you mean? Yeah. So 2000 is when it busted, I believe.
Right. So
and it was like, the next 6-7 years.
And it was long, like it lasted a long time. Not trying to make any predictions on how long this bear market lasts, because I pray to God it doesn't last 6 years. But that during that bear market was when some of all the biggest Web 2 companies were built in that bear market, right? So this is Andreessen Horowitz is doubling down on the opportunity to build right now, which, if you are a doer and you are listening to this podcast, now is the time to build, right? Do not be afraid of the fact that we're in a bear market. Take it as this is the opportunity. This is when the next biggest Web3 products are all going to be built.
Right. And just because we're in a bear market, it just means that prices are lower. It doesn't mean that people are not building anymore and that their innovation has stopped and new people aren't coming in. Like, there's still so much potential in a bear market. As you can see, there's $4.5 billion about to flow in. That's just one fund, one only. For example, our podcast is growing exponentially. Like, so it's not like in a bear market, everything goes to zero. Our podcast, a bunch of our clients who have newsletters and stuff, it's all still growing. So like, there's still a lot of interest. Just people aren't putting their money where their mouth is, I guess, at the moment. And it is what it is. But there's so much potential in the space still.
Totally. And as you said, there's still buying happening. Like, I'm deep in the NFT space, and I'm blown away by the number of NFTs that have launched in the last few weeks that, don't get me wrong, a lot do not blow up and do well, but there's still projects that are blowing up that people are buying, right? So there's a lot of money being spent still in the space. You know, it's not, I think that sometimes we think bear market and we think, oh, like, you know, tumbleweeds blowing down a street or something like that, and like it's dead silent, but it's not
and it was the last bear market. It's not this one, as we can see. There's like, we literally are about to go through a bunch of announcements, and these are huge. Okay, so this one is not huge, it's more on the tech side of things, and it's going to be probably difficult for a lot of people to understand. I still don't fully get it. But back to what I was talking about the Immutable X and GameStop kind of building for developers. So Immutable just announced a new launch, and it's basically a cross roll-up liquidity solution across multiple L2 and L3 ZK rollups. Okay, you're like, what? Basically, what it's doing is bringing the next billion players of Web3 games. Okay, so here's what's happening is, in order to bring billions of people into this space, one blockchain will not be able to do that. We all know about the multi-blockchain future and blah, blah, blah. We've talked about that a million times. Ethereum's roadmap, and again, I talked about this on Monday, which is roll-ups, or layer twos, we call them, where again, there's not just one layer two, there's going to be thousands of layer twos, okay? And they all plug into Ethereum, and they roll up tens of thousands of transactions, and they put it into one transaction on the Ethereum layer one. Now, the issue that's now happened here is big games like, let's say, World of Warcraft or Call of Duty, they are going to require their own roll-up. They won't be on a like shared roll-up like Optimism or Arbitrum, where there's a lot of like shared apps. Because these are so big and will have so many transactions. And if you think about a game, it's not like these like Bored Ape Yacht Club transactions where you have like, you know, they're worth $100,000 or $200,000 and they sell like once a week kind of thing. These are like micro transactions happening with tokens and with NFTs. And there's like millions of them happening a day kind of thing, right? Because there's so many users and so many things that happen in these games, and these users are playing for like hours and hours a day. It is really, really big, and it's hard to even wrap your mind around. And so basically what happens is Immutable X has built this sort of way for games to just come and immediately get their own roll up that's gasless. They don't have to deal with any of that. There's developer tools, and they can build what they want. And so now that there's all of these roll-ups and all of these games being built on these roll-ups, when you have an NFT on one of them, you need to get that NFT from one roll-up to another, right? And right now that isn't possible. So there is no way to move an NFT from one roll-up to the other. And so basically what Immutable has done is kind of building, like, you could think of it as a bridge or a layer above it that just allows you to seamlessly, and not even have to think about it, be able to go from one one roll-up to another. And you don't even have to do it. It just does it in the app for you, basically, and inside of the game. So the developers and the users won't even need to think about that. And so they're kind of connecting all these layer twos to do that, and layer threes. So yeah, that's, I don't know.
What's a layer three?
Okay, so
I'm not being rhetorical. This is the first time I've heard the term layer three.
So the Ethereum roadmap is very, very, I mean, look, blockchains are very, very complicated. Yeah. So layer twos are the scaling solution. And this allows us to get to hundreds of millions of users. If we want to get to billions of users, we need to actually go multiple layers above this. Okay. So a layer three is what connects into the layer twos, which is what connects into the layer one. And so you can think of the layer three more as, I mean, there will be apps on layer two, but more you can think of layer three as the thing that gets rid of all of the blockchain stuff. And so when you're using a layer three, it's an app layer, and you don't even know you're on a blockchain. You have no idea what's going on underneath. You don't know that you're on Immutable or Starkware or whatever. So it's basically the like layer above that just connects everything and just like, moves away from all this blockchain nonsense. And so no one knows that you're using NFTs on layer three, or that you're using a blockchain or whatever. And it will be kind of connecting all of those layer twos, but it also does the same thing that layer twos does, in the sense that it rolls up a bunch of transactions, which then rolls them up into a layer two, which then that rolls up a bunch of transactions and rolls up onto layer one. It's a bit crazy to think about, but that's the scale that we need for this to work, which is why I talk so much about scaling and how important this is. And like these like layer one blockchains that are just one blockchain, that's never going to work. Like just think of it. We need 3 layers, at least probably 4, for this to really get to the billions of users. And so, yeah, that's where this is all going. But again, most people, you're not going to need to know about this because it'll just be all done for you.
If you want to learn more about blockchains, next Tuesday, we are having our good friend Sam Andrew on the podcast to talk about blockchains in a way that is the average person can understand. So tune in for that podcast. We will not talk about layer 3s on that podcast. It'll be a more simple version. But an important thing to understand is the blockchain obviously is the core layer of all of this. So we'll chat more about that next week. Other big news. Sometimes we pause because we look at each other and we're not sure who wants to jump in. So apologies for our pauses sometimes. It's okay to take a deep breath though. You can take a deep breath when we pause. OpenSea made a major announcement last week. They have created a protocol for NFT marketplaces called Seaport. So OpenSea is a product that allows you to, it's a marketplace that allows you to buy and trade NFTs. The issue that because of OpenSea's participation in the market, they started to see the challenges that NFT projects were having in terms of like creating an NFT. There's a lot of issues around mint copies, won't even get into like the okay bears, not okay bears situation that happened a couple of weeks ago. And then obviously as users, the challenges that we have. So that put OpenSea in a position where they decided, okay, let's launch a protocol that they will use for OpenSea, but that anybody can use for an NFT marketplace. So the same way, basically think about Seaport the same way you think about Uniswap is the best sort of example. So Uniswap changed the game with their open source decentralized exchange, which was part of what we know as DeFi Summer. And in the same way, this move by OpenSea might have the same potential, right? This might lead NFTs to that same path.
Basically, OpenSea is a centralized product, okay? And so what they have just done is built a decentralized product or a protocol. And so for anyone in the Web3 space that's trying to figure out what are the products that are going to make it, it is protocols are the things that are going to make it long-term. Okay. That is the whole purpose of this industry, is to build decentralized protocols whereby we don't rely on centralized companies moving forward. Now, they are not all that way. Of course, a lot of Web3 is still centralized, but we are building those protocols out and those take time. And so OpenSea saw a need and they built a centralized product because it's fast and easy to do when you control all of the everything. And they just plugged into the Web3 world and we're like, okay, here's a central product so you can buy and sell your NFTs, but we control everything. We don't control your assets because they plugged into it, but that's basically it. So same with like Coinbase, for example. The first thing they built was not Coinbase Wallet, right? Or Uniswap version. They built a centralized exchange because that's what's easy and fast and it gives them control of everything, right? Not that they want control of everything, but it's just that's the way you build products fast. And so same with like Coinbase's NFT marketplace. Right now, it's mainly centralized, but that's because they needed to get it out there. There's a need for it. And then what you do is you start to build the underlying protocols for it. And it basically pulls your centralized products out of it. And you don't need those anymore. So Uniswap is the decentralized protocol to Coinbase, for example, right? Coinbase, they own all of the exchange, all of the transactions that happen. Uniswap, it's in a decentralized way. No one owns that protocol. Anyone can build on top of that protocol, right? And so a lot of the apps that you use, like, I don't know, any of the DeFi apps and things where you need a different token, under the hood, it's connecting into the Uniswap protocol and making those swaps for you using Uniswap, and you don't even really realize it because, again, it is a decentralized protocol. And the reason why that's good is that when you build on top of Uniswap, the term is called the protocol sink thesis. I think Bankless made this term, but people don't want to build on centralized applications because they can just block you at any time, or maybe they go out of business, or maybe they shut down. When you build on a decentralized protocol and you tap into that, you know it just works 24/7. It doesn't go down. There's no one person that can stop it and block you. It's permissionless, right? And so that's why people are building on Ethereum. That's why then people build on Uniswap. And so people don't want to build on OpenSea because, again, it's a centralized company, but they do want to build on a protocol. And so in this instance, basically OpenSea has disrupted themselves by building an underlying NFT marketplace protocol that anyone can build on. And when I say build on, I mean the user face. So anyone can create a user face on top of this protocol, or a UX on top of that protocol. So they're kind of disrupting themselves, and this is huge. We need this for NFTs. So kudos to OpenSea.
Yeah, I think you did a great job of explaining this. What is a protocol versus what is a product built on top, which is a key piece of composability and really understanding the space. What I love about this is OpenSea saying to the market, let's go, bring it on, right? Like they are basically opening themselves up. They believe they have, I mean, they do have a massive first mover advantage. And I don't remember the exact stats, but they've got like 90% of the NFT market within OpenSea. So, but they are signaling, they're saying, hey, let the best marketplace win. Let's decentralize this and let's see who wins. So they're definitely bringing on competition, which I just love. It's so much in the spirit of Web3.
And this is when DAOs become important, because when you create a protocol, you can't run it through a centralized company. So you need a DAO. And so the protocol sync thesis is basically like anything that is the most decentralized, that is a protocol, sinks down and becomes like part of these like underlying layers that all the other things build on. So the more decentralized it is, it goes lower down and becomes a more important part of the tech stack. So Ethereum is the number one. That's like that layer one that's down there. The layer twos are also decentralized. Then you have the applications that are protocols like Uniswap and MakerDAO, things that you need to do a lot of different things. But they're done and they're run by DAOs specifically. And so this will probably be run by a DAO. We're going to get to Lens protocol, which is basically the same thing. It's a protocol, an underlying protocol for the social layer. And this is you're going to see this happen with a lot of different use cases, I think. And that's kind of the idea of what we're building here.
I love it.
Okay, so this is Mirror, which is, it's basically the Web3 version of Substack. It's basically like a newsletter platform, but in Web3. And so you can like launch tokens through it. You can turn things into NFTs. And basically what they're have just launched and introduced is writing NFTs. So you can turn your articles into NFTs. And so people who want to support you can purchase your article in Ethereum or any ERC20 and own an NFT of it. And so maybe this disrupts, the sort of like the paywalled version of NFTs, right? Of newsletters, right? Like usually newsletters are like, there's a free side, there's a paid side. Now maybe this kind of gets rid of that. And instead just people can, I don't know if you want to call it donating, but people that want to support. I don't really understand like why someone wants to buy a newsletter, like an article off someone other than maybe to support them, except for like the one example they give here was like, Vitalik wrote a white paper for Ethereum, and that's now like a legendary white paper. It's like, it's a big deal in the space because it's kind of changed a lot in the space, and is kind of the beginning of Web3. So, okay, I can see some value there. It's almost like it's some sort of art, and like, it's like the Constitution, so like, I get that. Otherwise though, like, I don't know. I don't see it yet, but maybe I'm missing
I think it's about supporting ideas, really. Because I agree with what you're saying. It's it's not buying a written document, a digital written document. You're not buying a PDF, but it's online. I don't know if I necessarily see that as like as an investment or as a collectible, unless it is market. Right. But like, let's say somebody writes a paper and I want to support the project, then I can see that, right? Or let's say somebody's just a really great writer and I want them to write more. So I see it as support, or I see it as like, I don't know, being maybe as a signal to your followers or to your fans. When we talk about decentralized social, like maybe some of this stuff will be pulled into there where you can show off like these are the ideas that I'm supporting right now, right?
Right.
Hey,
actually,
these are
cool.
the papers that I think everybody should be reading. So I invested in them, and they show up high on my Lens protocol page.
But I still just don't understand why it needs to be. Why you need to own it. Like, why not? You could just like it or favorite it, and you can, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Okay. So last of the announcements, and this I don't even want to talk too much about because I'm kind of over it. Terra Luna, which we've talked about in detail previously, which imploded, is basically forking their, I don't even know if it's a fork actually, but they're creating Terra 2.0. It's a new blockchain. They voted, and the community voted that they should do this. And so they're going to create a new blockchain. And basically what they're going to do is carry over all the tokens from the old blockchain and launch it over here into this one. So if you held Luna tokens or UST, you will be compensated in some form. As to how much, I don't really know. The only reason I kind of like this is if you skip to the next one, I think it's the next thread, Jay, is what they're doing is kind of cool. So they're airdropping on May 27th. So it's actually tomorrow. And to all of the holders pre like it crashing, right? The holders of Luna and the holders of UST. Now there's different types of holders. There is like retail, right? Like people like you and I. There is like the VCs that have been in since the beginning that hold like a lot. There are the whales, the validators, etc. And what they're doing here that I think is kind of interesting is I think it's like 70% or something are the retail people that are getting this. But basically what they're doing is all of the VCs and the whales, they can't sell these new tokens. They're vested for like a year or something like that. But the retail people that get this, so anyone who has like X amount under, I forget what it is, like some sort of amount of Luna, but under whatever it is.
10K, under 10K.
Okay, so 10,000 Luna. They just have to hold for 21 days, which is just a security reason why they do this. After 21 days, we are allowed to sell. So I don't know what's going to happen here. This seems like a disaster to me, but it's basically an opportunity for retail to dump on all the VCs, which is kind of funny for the next year. And then the VCs will unlock in like a year or something, and then they can do whatever they want. So we'll see what happens. I think there's like a futures market of this. And it's like a lot of people are shorting this new token, Luna 2.0 or whatever. I don't know. I assume I will get these because I did hold some Luna. Not a lot, so I don't really care, but I'm dumping.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
this.
They're holding on for dear life. They're doing the best they can.
Yeah.
I feel my heart goes out to anybody who lost big in Luna. Right. I know it affected a lot of people, their wealth, their livelihoods. So if that's you, I'm sorry for that. And, keep being positive, and we're here to support you. Reach out, but Luna's doing the best they can. Shout out.
I guess the good thing of this, right? And I think the good thing of this, when you take tokens out of the picture, is there is a big developer community that was building on Terra Luna, and they basically were screwed and can't do anything. And it's like, well, they can't just fork their code over to another blockchain because they write in a different way. And so this gives them an opportunity to start building again. Will they want to build on this blockchain? I have no idea. I also saw Polygon announce a fund where they are going to fund any Terra developers to merge and bring their protocols and things, their applications over to Polygon. So they're going to actually fund it for these people. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. The other thing that I learned from your article, Kai, on Monday was that they're changing the naming of algorithmic stablecoins to be called under collateral stablecoins, which I really like. That is a great move for the industry.
No one is actually changing it. It's more like they're trying to meme it into a thing, right?
And I think they will.
What we want it to be. And yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, because that's what it is. It's, it is an under collateralized stable coin. Okay. Next up, and I'm just looking at the time. I'm supposed to have a meeting in 2 minutes, but we're not going to make that. So let's try to get through the rest of this episode as quick as we can here, Kai.
Jay is NGMI.
I'm definitely NGMI. Sorry to my client who's going to be waiting for me for a few minutes. Apologies. Royal. Royal is a music NFT platform. we talked a bunch about music NFTs. Kai, I know you found out at Permissionless that there was a lot of talk about music NFTs. There's so much happening in the space. We talked about it last week in the State of Crypto report, in A16Z's report. They talk about music NFTs. So tons happening here. I just want to focus on one specific example. So Royal is a platform that allows a musician to either sell NFTs or give away NFTs to their album, either like one song or their whole album. And so Chainsmokers has announced that they are giving away 5,000 NFTs for their new album. And if you have one of these NFTs, all 5,000 of those people will split 1% of the royalty profits. So let's be clear here. This isn't a big money making opportunity. If the royalty profits of, I did some math on this, if the royalty profits of this album is $10 million, which is probably a reasonable guess for Chainsmokers, then each NFT holder would get $20. So you're not making money off this. But I think that the concept and the idea is really powerful. Even if you only got $20, that's cool. You get to now say that you are a part owner of this album, which feels really good.
I also wonder if the users will get $20 or they pool all that money and there's a DAO now, and the DAO has a treasury of whatever that is, totally. Like $100,000 or something, 1%. And now they can go and do something with that, right? Whether they throw an event or they create a product, and now this DAO has a treasury. That's probably where I see it go, but I don't know. We'll see.
That's a good idea. What I really like about this is Chainsmokers didn't sell this NFT. They gave it away to 5,000 fans, and they had some way that they went through and picked 5,000 engaged fans based upon, I'm guessing, like maybe people have been to concerts or their email list or engagement on social media. In some way, they picked 5,000 fans. So I thought that was really cool, just giving away 5,000 NFTs. Those 5,000 fans, they can now sell that NFT if they want, or they can keep it. So there's some value for them right away there. The other thing that you can do with Royal is, and this is, I think, one of the things we talk a lot about with NFTs, is it's all about access, right? So Chainsmokers can have a contest to their NFT holders where 100 of them get free tickets to a concert, or where all of them get a t-shirt, or where they get backstage access if they're at a concert. They show your NFT and now you get into some particular area of the venue. A lot of potential here. If you are a musician, highly recommend you check out Royal. Very, very cool product, and really going to be a big part of the NFT space for musicians.
Yeah, there was a few talks about music NFTs, and it's big, and it's going to disrupt the music industry big time again. Mm-hmm. It just keep getting disrupted.
Everything. Yeah, well, hopefully the music industry embraces this disruption. They didn't exactly embrace the Web2 disruption. They spent all their time in legal battles and in courts.
Well, it doesn't matter if they embrace, because it's up to the artist. The artists just go and use it, right? You don't need them to embrace anymore. They're gone.
True.
See you later.
True. Yeah.
Unless they adapt and build in, marketplaces or something. Like, they're gonna have to build some tech around it, but.
Okay, sports NFTs. Let's talk about sports. MLB signed a deal with SoRare, which is the operator of an NFT fantasy game. This SoRare startup is valued at $4.3 billion. And I can't remember the size of the fantasy sports industry. I think it's multi-billion-dollar industry. I won't be able to find it in this article, but a lot of people play fantasy sports. I used to play fantasy sports. Kai, did you play fantasy sports?
Yep, absolutely, I did.
Right. And so let me just explain the way SoRare works. So SoRare started on football or soccer, football, not American football, soccer. And so the way it works is you can buy an NFT of a player. Then you take so you buy NFTs of players, you take those players, you build a team, and then you enter those teams into tournaments. And if your team performs the best, then you make money in either ETH or NFTs or So Rare's token. So you can actually make money. But the cool thing is they've limited the supply of these players. So if we're talking about baseball, Mike Trout, one of the best baseball players, there will only be, let's say there's only 1,000 Mike Trout NFTs. And so if you buy a Mike Trout NFT at the beginning of the year, and then Mike Trout starts to do really well throughout the season, then you could sell that NFT for more because it accrues more value. Or let's say you buy some other NFT of a player who's not very well known, and then he becomes the best player this year. Well, then you get value for that. So really just bringing NFTs to the fantasy sports space, which makes so much sense.
Now, again, though, don't forget about the word NFTs. What this does is it brings ownership to fantasy, right? And fantasy football is cool because people love it because you feel like an owner. You got to build a team and like, you move that team around throughout the year. This just adds another layer of like actual ownership. And what it does that's really cool is instead of I forget the names of the companies that you use to like do fantasy, like, I don't know, CB,
like ESPN.
Yeah, exactly. So like that, they are the ones that would typically decide the price of these players when you're playing with your fantasy. And now what it does is, I assume anyway, is they no longer decide. It's now an open market because you own these things, and it just depends on what the market decides it is. So it adds like a more real life layer to fantasy football. You almost don't even need to call it fantasy anymore. So I think that's what's that's actually super cool. It'd be fun. Can you own these things? Like if you buy the NFT of, let's say, Mike Trout, do you own him for his career?
I don't think so. Good question. Okay. I think it's I don't think so. I think it's every season right now. I think
that would add another layer of,
but that would add a whole other layer.
You want to sell it before he gets injured or before he gets too old, or like, I don't know. That's crazy.
The only reason I say no is because I think that you want new people onboarding every year. And if you do that, then it's hard to onboard new people every year, but
true.
But yeah, let's see. Okay. I got 4 minutes left here. Let's try to get through the rest of this.
We can just go to the NFT of the month if you would like. Let's do that. We can talk about this next time. Okay, we were going to talk about Lens Protocol, but we're actually having them on the podcast very soon. So we will dive more into it at that point. So let's go to the NFT of the month because Jay needs to deal with life. So the NFT of the month, I actually don't know what the exact name of it is. I think it's We're All Gonna Make a Movie, WAGMAM. And basically what this is it's called the Infinite Machine movie. So there's a book called The Infinite Machine, and it's a great book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend you do. It's a really, really good book about the sort of history of Ethereum. And so like how it was built when Vitalik first started, and he brought like Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano and the founder of Polkadot. All of the founders of these layer one blockchains, these alt layer ones were part of the genesis of Ethereum, not all of them, but some. And anyway, so it's kind of this whole story of it going through. There was the big DAO hack and the bear market and everything. Really, really interesting story of how sort of basically Web3 or smart contract platform started. And so the book was great. And then she was like, you know what? The author was like, we should make a movie. And so I can't remember who it was that got in with this, but she's got like a big production company, et cetera, that's involved. But basically what they did is to fund all of this, they did it through NFTs. And so they launched, let's see if it has the details in here, X amount of NFTs. And basically the funds from that went to paying the people in the movie, the production and all this stuff. And I don't know if it's 100% funded by NFTs, but basically what she said in an interview that I saw was they started this movie without any money. No, people were not getting paid at all. And everyone was like, yeah, do the NFTs. Like, let's make our money that way. We think this is cool. And so that's how they got the funding and started paying everyone. And so basically what's really interesting about this is the NFTs have different traits. Okay. And so some of the NFTs allow your names to go in the credit, like in the credits. Some of them allow you to be an extra in the movie. Some of them allow you to join the movie premiere. So there's like a bunch of different things from that. And then 10% of the profits from these NFTs go into a treasury for a DAO. And the DAO is for the NFT holders to basically, it's like a content DAO, I guess is what it's meant to be. And it's still not for sure. They'll kind of figure that out as they go. But basically it's to help people figure out how to make content in this space. And so it's the profits will go to funding this DAO. And so the art of these NFTs, I don't know if we have any pictures of them. Do we by any chance, Jay, there? If you click on maybe on the OpenSea link or something, we can see them. But what's cool is they brought in, there it is. They brought in a lot of big artists from the Web3 space. So like the person who designed the Ethereum logo is a person who was helping with these NFTs. And there's just a bunch of others in the space. They brought them in to be a part of this. So the art is actually quite cool, but it also has some like ties back to the ecosystem. So really, really cool. I don't know when this movie will come out. But it's going to come out like in theaters. Like it's going to be a big, like proper movie, not like an indie film. So this is going to be a big deal, I think, at some point. And yeah, just super cool that they funded a movie from NFTs. I love it.
Yeah. I think we're seeing this more and more. I've seen this a few times over the past few weeks, actually, of NFT funded movies. And I think there's a platform, I can't remember the name of it. There's trying to be a marketplace where you could get funding for your movie using NFTs. We haven't. It's funny. We talk a lot about music. We've talked about sports today. We haven't talked as much about movies and TV, but that's obviously a big space that will also get disrupted by ownership, not by NFTs.
Again, if you hate NFTs, don't even think of this as NFTs. All it is was a funding mechanism, and you own 10% of the profits of that funding. That's it. Just ownership, digital ownership. Relax. Everyone chill the hell out. They're good. They're going to be really good. I promise. You're going to like NFTs. You like ownership in the real world. You're probably going to like it in the digital world too. All right, Jay, get out of here, man. Let's go.
I got to go. Everybody have a great weekend. If you're not in the Discord, come to the Discord, hang out with us, chat with us. If you have any questions from the podcast, we have a channel for every single podcast that we produce where we discuss and review the podcast together and share thoughts. Every Monday we meet as a community and talk about the podcast. And there's some other exciting things coming out of Web3 Academy that Kyle and I are really pumped about to share with you guys in the future. So get involved. Meet you there.
See you guys in the Discord. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. Thank you for listening to Web3 Academy. We hope this helps you along your Web3 journey. And if it does, please share this episode and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. By the way, if you have yet to join the Discord community, you are missing out. This is where all the magic happens. This is where we learn, where we ask questions, where we network. You want to be in there. The link to join is in the description below. And finally, a quick disclaimer. Nothing in this podcast was financial advice. Crypto and Web3 can be risky. You can literally lose it all. In fact, if you invest on account of what we say, you probably will lose it all. So don't do that. In all honesty, the point of this podcast is to remove the noise of markets and price and focus on utility and implementation anyway. So you should not take any of this as financial advice. Thank you, friends, and see you in the next one.